The Ptolemaic model of the universe dominated the academic world for 15 centuries. In his Almagest, Ptolemy espouses a geocentric model in which Earth lies right in the middle of the heavens, with all heavenly bodies moving spherically around the immobile Earth. Although astronomical instrumentalists praised the model, realists gradually recognized that many of its concepts were used to save the phenomena. Whereas instrumentalists believed that scientific models should be simply utilized as highly sophisticated calculating tools, realists desire a causal explanation of the way in which the universe truly works. Nicolaus Copernicus, a Renaissance and Reformation-era astronomer, gave a more accurate model of the solar system that ultimately undermined the Ptolemaic system. In his Commentariolus, Copernicus remarks that he is aware of the defects stemming from the Ptolemaic system of the universe, and says that it is not sufficiently pleasing to the mind. Copernicus proceeds to try and conceive his own simpler and more pleasing construction of the universe. He begins with assumptions that try to rectify many of the problems associated with the Ptolemaic model. The most notable idea that Copernicus puts forth is that the universe is heliocentric. The Copernican model is easier to comprehend than the Ptolemaic model, as it requires only two factors: the radius of the orbit and the speed of the orbit of all the planets in the solar system. The radius of an orbit is the distance between the planet and the center of the universe, which is the Sun in the Copernican model. Another advantage of the Copernican system is that retrograde motion, which is the apparent backwards motion of the planets, is a direct consequence of the model, and doesn't need ad hoc features as it does in the Ptolemaic model. It is important to note that Copernicus's model was harshly criticized by his contemporaries. One objection to the Copernican model is that stellar parallax should be observed if the Earth is at opposite sides of the Sun at 6-month intervals. Stellar parallax is the apparent shift in position of any nearby star against the background of distant objects. Copernicus responded that one of the basic premises for his model is that stars are extremely far away from Earth, so parallax would be negligible. Another major objection to heliocentrism is that it would be impossible for birds to fly easily through the sky if the Earth is moving at such a rapid velocity from rotating and revolving around the Sun. Although Copernicus didn't have a response to this question during his lifetime, Galileo's response to this question made heliocentrism the consensus of the scientific community from the 16th century to modernity. The findings of Copernicus are important because from the creation of the Ptolemaic system up to this point, the geocentric model went largely unchallenged throughout the scientific community. With some exceptions such as Aristarchus of Samos, who formulated a heliocentric model even before the time of Ptolemy, people simply accepted the geocentric model. Copernicus's desire for the absolute truth of the real workings of the universe propelled him to be a notable figure of the scientific revolution. As Copernicus attacked the Ptolemaic model of the universe, Kepler attacked the ancient ideas of the motion of heavenly bodies. Johannes Kepler is best known for his 3 laws of planetary motion. From careful analysis of Tycho Brahe's naked-eye observations, he came to nuanced conclusions about the orbits of the planets around the Sun. Kepler's first law is that the planets move in elliptical orbits with the Sun at one focus. Kepler's second law is that a line that connects a planet to the Sun sweeps out equal areas in equal time. Kepler's third law of planetary motion is that the square of the time a planet takes to complete an orbit is directly proportional to the cube of its mean distance from the Sun. Essentially, the third law says that planets closer to the Sun have a faster orbital velocity than planets farther from the Sun. Since Earth is closer to the center of the universe than Mars, it only takes Earth 365 days to complete a revolution compared to Mars's 687-day revolution. Kepler's 3 laws are significant for multiple reasons. First, they are radical changes from previous scientific thinking of astronomers from Plato to Copernicus, as they believed that planets moved in circular motions. It also attacked the still widely accepted Aristotelian idea that the superlunary realm is filled with ether and the motion of planets are perfect, perpetual, and uniform. Even if astronomers debated between geocentric, heliocentric, or geoheliocentric models, it was never debated that planets revolved in perfectly circular orbits. The proposal of a heliocentric model in conjunction with the concept that planets move in ellipses constituted a complete overhaul of all previous planetary systems. Progress in the realm of astronomy seemed to flourish during the time period between Plato and Ptolemy, but new ideas in the field were rarely explored during the Middle Ages in Europe. After a century of relative stagnation with respect to astronomical discoveries, the work of Nicolaus Copernicus and Johannes Kepler revived the world's interest in the field.